Welcome back to the Circuit Theory Electrics channel. I'm going to go over my first major rewire. It was kind of a doozy. We had gone in for just some kitchen lights to begin with, and then there was a lot of crazy stuff. So a lot of old wiring. I think the house might have been built in the 30s, not real sure. I know there's a house around the street somewhere that says 1930, but anyway, it's a pretty old house. There's a lot of old wiring. Just interesting to rip out, and let's get right into it here. Taking a nice scenic view down Strasbourg here. The mountain actually is right there. It's a pretty scenic view. I like Strasbourg a lot. I didn't think that I would. Growing up, you don't really go there much, but I'd live there now because a lot of the houses were just right next to the mountain. It's a beautiful place. Like I said, here we got the old kitchen lights. Pretty nasty looking. Then this was the box I first noticed the issue. We came up on this and I immediately stopped working and was like, hey, I gotta go in the attic, take a check, because this wire is no good. Not to mention the tape splice, but also the fact that there was a lot of bare copper everywhere. So we went and looked at that box. I think there's another view here. This box here, you can see a lot more exposed copper. This might be around the other backside. There's more. It was pretty good. So then I got up in the attic. Was not expecting to get up in the attic that day. It was a pretty bad day. That's a small attic, as you can see. Later I had to come back with a mask, and it got dirty pretty quick. So crawled around in there. Yeah, I got absolutely annihilated by these nails. That was not a good day. I got out, one actually dug into my back and just kept on ripping, so that was fun. That's the new wire I pulled in. That's me making a mess on the counter. Don't do that. That's a big thing I pulled on myself. Was I made a lot of a mess on this. I made a mess on this, and it was, you know, the homeowner went behind me. He was pretty good. He didn't care so much, and he was happy to clean up the mess. But you just shouldn't do that. You should be prepared. I did bring a drop cloth for a while, and then that ended up getting just as dirty, and then it was like you cleaned it off and you're back to square one. So it just was nowhere to really shake it off. You go outside and then you got, you know, metal wire shaking off in somebody's driveway. It's not fun. It's not really a good issue either. But anyway, don't make a mess. Clean up after yourself. Don't be one of those electricians. It's hard not to be sometimes, but especially on this job. Eventually we got around to new kitchen lights. I didn't scrape up any of the popcorn ceiling. Probably should have. They wanted them oriented a different way. That's why you can see that the light there is a little different. The box actually was in another place. I had to cut a new box in, fix it there. But so when you do those lights, you got to think about popcorn ceiling, and you got to probably scrape some of it off. I didn't know. I wasn't really thinking about it, but it left a little bit. You know, they're flush mount lights, but you had a little bit of a gap there just because the popcorn ceiling was pushing out the light, which, you know, again, they were super cool about it. They just said, hey, whatever, we'll fix it later. But they just wanted to get their lights on. That really was the issue. So as we moved deeper, we got into the bathroom light was actually tied in to the kitchen lights, which is a little weird. There's a lot of weird stuff as you start ripping. If you get into rewires, you start ripping stuff out, and then you find that, you know, stuff was tied in where it shouldn't have been, and then you kill something and you end up killing a bunch of other stuff. So killed a lot of the kitchen, and then that ended up killing the bathroom light. So I had to run a new wire for the bathroom light. So we took that box out. As you can see, there's a good shot here of all the old wiring. I don't know what they were doing there. They had a wire jump to the kitchen light, and then they had a bunch of old wiring right there too. So we ripped the old wiring out, ripped the wire out that was jumped to the kitchen light, put up a new fixture here, and then I guess, I don't know what the best practice is for cleaning up, or I guess you got to paint maybe where the old fixture was, but you got it turned on there, it looked pretty good. Moving out to the hallway here, we had everything from the kitchen ran through the hallway light. And I took down the hallway light. It's kind of the same thing. You have a bunch of wires there together. Some of them were tape spliced. Then I don't know, that's not really a good shot, but some of the wires actually melted together. So there was, at one point, some wire was drawing a bunch of current and it melted the wires together. Maybe had a short circuit or a power surge or something, but it was pretty interesting. So I had to rerun new switch legs for the hallway. There's a new 3-way switch legs. Then we put up the new fixture. Not too bad. I say not too bad, but that was probably a 6-hour process. It's like when you do stuff by yourself, it takes forever. So there's me just trying to keep things tidy. Put a junction box in the ceiling or the attic there, and I just wanted to make sure that I labeled some stuff, because I went the whole half of the job thinking, oh, I should label this, and I finally got a Sharpie and I labeled something, so that was good. Here's a little, we had to, in the bedrooms, I had to run from that switch up to the light there. Took the light down just to see what the box looked like, and got up on the bed. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but they were okay with that too. So I did put a drop cloth down eventually, because stuff started falling out of this gross looking box here. And then we tape splices again. So I got the box kind of ripped out. I was looked up in the attic to try to find the hole here. It was luckily right next to where the opening in the attic is. The lighting's a little bad right here, but you can kind of see where the old wire comes through. Yeah, not too bad. It actually ended up being pretty loose, so that was a nice pull once I got it out of the box. But it goes over to the light, and then from there it jumps around the room to actually the other room. So if I tried to tie the first wire on just to see if it would be an easy pull, so we go up in the attic there, and sometime today go up in the attic. I'm tugging now or not? There we go. There we go. Give it a little tug. Hopefully it's gonna be easy, and it comes off. Of course, could be easy. So I actually had to break out the fish sticks, which I bought. My brother gave me a set, and then I ended up buying another set for this job. Shoved those down in through there. Used those a lot on this job. I've never used fish sticks so much in my life, but use the old fish sticks that don't glow in the dark anymore. And then this is one of many casualties on this job. Drilling a hole. Tried to drill a hole. I was gonna drill a hole through the basement. Couldn't, because there's an air duct right where I needed to drill a hole. So had to cut a little hole in the drywall there, and there was a footer, I guess. I'm not really sure what the deal was with this one. It's not as bad as another one, we'll see, but I broke my bit. Just snapped off in there. So that was a shame. I use that bit a lot, and it snapped right off. This is one of the outlet boxes here. Again, you can see the annoying metal box. Go through here. You gotta take all of these clips out. It's kind of a pain. So you take the clips out before you can take the box out. I guess it's a good time to note that while you're doing this, why this job took so long too, it seems like, is you feel like a terrible electrician when you're doing it, but when you're doing a rewire like this, it was demo, and then reinstall the new boxes, pull new wire, and then reinstall all the new devices. So it was like 4 stages all in one, and you couldn't do everything at once. And plus, people, they still live there, so it's not like you could leave stuff unhooked, even though right now there is some stuff unhooked just from the process of going through. But I've narrowed it down now to, just one room or so, and some basement lights that got tied in. But yeah, it took forever because it's just, you gotta take this stuff out and then demo everything and then put everything back in. So it's just kind of a, it is what it is, but it's just a process. Oh, there we go. So I noticed these metal boxes. I haven't done a lot of these metal boxes, but there's nails that hold them into the stud and they go through the box. So finally I got out my multi-tool, I think, and I cut. I actually ended up only cutting the one box, and I used pliers to just twist the nails out for most of the other ones, just because the multi-tool kept hitting a bump on the side of the box. So call that a rookie mistake, whatever. It's ended up being more time effective to just twist the nails out. Alright, finally got the box. We're getting the box out of the wall here. Once we get this box out, I think I pushed a lot of them just down into the wall because, whatever. They're just gonna sit there. It's not like they're hurting anything. Eventually you can get the box out, and then you got all this old gross wire back behind the wall. And that's what we had to take out, because you go up in the attic and a lot of it was just deteriorated. Here we go. That's me pushing between the duct. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a bad picture. Between the duct work and trying to get up to the hole for the switch. Once we got that, it was smooth sailing. But this is actually the other bedroom now. Trying to drill down through. There was a head, some kind of header on the door. It was kind of ridiculous. So I drilled a hole beside it, thinking I could get down through there. Found I wasn't in the right cavity, so I drilled above the header and then got stuck. So the header was ridiculously thick. And there's another casualty. Nice Greenlee flex bit got stuck in the wall or the header, whatever I was drilling through, and just snapped off. So that was a waste of whatever, $69 that I bought just for this job. Broken. But here's a look at the wall. I tried drilling through the basement. It was kind of the same issue, and I had no idea what was going on. So I cut the wall open, and that was there. So I don't know what that's for. If anybody knows what that was for, then it'd be nice to know. But that was, it was just a nightmare to drill through here, and you can see how much of a nightmare. I actually burnt out my one drill, which I just kept clicking the button like an idiot just to try to make it smoke more, I guess. But yeah, say goodbye to the old Makita. I still got another one though. And then I cut the wall open again, and there was this gigantic block there too, another one. So I mean, it was just a headache. I ended up just notching out I had to notch out the wood to get the wire to run through. I guess I didn't take a picture of that one, but yeah. There's a little commentary I had on these panels in the United States. They got the main lugs with the main breaker, and I said, I actually posted it. I think it was my first YouTube short, which was great. It got like 1,000 views in like 24 hours, and then everything else after that got like 18 views. So I don't know how YouTube works, but I said, the bad thing about US panels is you can't turn this off, so everything's very hot. And everybody's like, well, why can't you turn it off? Why can't you turn it off? The code says you can turn this off. Go twist the meter out. It's like, no, people don't just go twist meters out. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's in Virginia, it might be very frowned upon. In some states, it's a felony, so I'm not going to mess with that. But legitimately, you can turn the main breaker off. It turns everything below that off, but it's like, it doesn't really matter if your lugs are exposed, because if you're still coming in the top of the box, that's the main part that's kind of hard. I mean, nobody really has too much of a hard time avoiding the bus bars, but those lugs are still exposed regardless of whether you turn it off or not. And then somebody said, yeah, okay, well, in the 2020 code, there's an external disconnect. You should be able to disconnect. It's like, well, the house built in the 30s, nobody's put an external disconnect on there. Then you're just not gonna get it. Okay, it's just whatever. Get over it. Can't turn it off. Try to keep it neat in the panel. Landed 3 extra breakers to split up everything. That's one of the basement lights. Another tape splice. Nice. And then there's some wire that was welded together by whatever. So yeah, that was it. That's a pretty good rundown of how things went. Hopefully it was interesting. It was a very long process. I only was able to take pictures. I wish I had a GoPro or something that I could, actually get like real video, but it was like you take a video with your phone and then you try not to waste too much time. But it was what it was. It was interesting. There's still some stuff I got to go back and do at some point, but overall, I think it's success. I liked going in and seeing. I could have just left it be, but it ended up turning into a whole rewire just because those kitchen lights. If you enjoyed this, then give me a like, subscribe. Hopefully the videos get better. This is kind of a weird process of commentating over a video I've already made, so I don't know. I'm just learning how to do this, so it's not like I'm not a professional yet. But hopefully the videos get better, and we'll see you on the next one.